Okay. So we're waiting for the entire world to stop shaking.
It's not an earthquake. It's just clumsy.
Okay. So it is Sunday, and in a rare moment, I'm recording this on the day of, which is really funny because I try to pre-record things when I can. It doesn't necessarily also often, usually sometimes work. And I like to remember to do things, at the wrong time of day. And this is not the wrong kind of day, but it kind of is the wrong time of day. Like, should I have done this earlier? Yes. I was sleeping. So without further ado, it is Stashcast because it is Sunday. And this is a much awaited, much anticipated Stashcast because this should have been done last year. This should have been done probably years ago. And I kept putting things off, missing dates. The last video for this collection that I easily found was 2025, and it is linked in the caption below, or the post below. Caption if you're watching this on YouTube. But I really do feel like this was supposed to be done before that, and scheduling issues and me saying, oh no, and that's what's happened. Because I'm trying to keep a schedule and I'm trying to keep it on the allotted days, and I'm also trying to do a lot of other things, which means not everything works out when I need it to, which is unfortunate. So, for those of you who don't know, I'm Aradia Norai, your resident witch and creatrix over to Aradia's Divine, Aradia's Hand and Danae's Divine, where I create myth, magic, and meaning for your everyday life through art, intuition, and energy work. And on Sundays, I like to do a little thing called Stashcast. So the whole point of Stash, generally for a crafter, is materials. I would grab anything if I could reach it, and I can't. I can't reach anything because of course I can't. So this is yarn, beads, buttons, fabric, what have you. I expanded my Stashcast to also include tools because that's one of those like little known things that happens when you start crafting. Is you may start off with like one tool, but then you lose, you misplace something, or you decide, okay, well I don't want to take the tool out of this bag and I want to have, and then somehow you have like 6 G hooks. Or like several sets of needles, or several different types of needles in the same size, because okay, well I really wanted to circular for this, but I like double pointers for this, and well I started off with straights, and so here we are. So this segment is a continuation from last January where we were talking about Bobbin Lace. So here's the culprit in question. This is Baracco's Mixer. It is a novelty yarn. So you can see it goes from thicker to thinner to like string, and then thick again, maybe. Anyway, you will see a picture of this bad boy in the comments below. And it also has a slight variegation to it. But here's the thing with this. I got this with the express intention of using it for Bobbin Lace. And then I promptly lost it. Yeah, and I actually just found it. I had torn apart a shelf that was covered in like projects, but was like from my move covered in projects. So how it went was, you get to the point of moving where you were tired and you kind of just start throwing things in bags and boxes. Yeah, or at least I do. And then the same thing happens when you're actually physically moving stuff, where you're like, listen, this has just got to get in the new space. I'll deal with it later. Well, it's been 1.5 years and I'm just now getting to it. Because, anyway, so my shelf, which is actually behind the camera, it was just shelf shut on shelf, shelf shit on shelf. There was no real organization. And then I started like putting away my books. So the books, a lot of books were shoved under the shelf because I'm like, oh, they can stack, they'll go there. And I'm like, well, the books aren't doing me any good there. So I have a witch shelf, I had an art shelf. And then eventually all the books came out and I'm like, okay, well, I have to make room for the art books because I have actually a surprising amount of them. Let's see, how many do we have? Because I don't know. and now I want to tell you because I'm curious. And is this like the correct number, or is this like not the correct number and I just don't know? Or is it close to the correct number and like I don't know. But I started organizing all my books because I got this bright idea to put everything on Goodreads, just because it was easy enough for me to use as far as a repository for books. And just like, hey, what do I have? And I can like tag things and put them on different shelves and stuff. And really the whole point was, over the course of many, many moves, over many, many years, I have lost a lot of things. And one of the big things that I have lost is books. And what books do I still have? What books did I get? You know, did I lose every single book I had? Oh, absolutely not. But did I lose like 3 or 4 pages worth of books? Yes. And like, thankfully, they were like reference books, not like fiction books, because that would have been like, I think it would have bothered me a bit more, because I don't even know that the books I had were worth having, to be honest with you, because I had like, oh, this is neat. Let's see. Let's see. My books. Like, I'm like obsessed with answering this question now because I want to know, because I'm a weirdo. Yeah. Oh my god. So anyway, and then I got this 10 set of it's about the size of a shoebox. There were 10 bins. Okay, what do we have here? 76. I have 76 art books in my collection right now. Out of, let's see, out of 422. And that 422 is not accurate, probably. So most of that is witch books. And I can say, let's see, how many is witch books? Oh, yeah. 181 is witch books. I don't think I have my audiobooks in there yet. And I don't have my the digital ebooks that I have either. I'm gonna make like 2 different lists there, just because I want to know what I have in what format, because I'm not gonna remember because I'm not. Anyway, so point being, I demolished that entire shelf. I threw stuff on it, and I was like, well, it's probably in there. It's probably in there. It wasn't. In fact, I'm trying to think to myself, where did I find this? I think I found this in a bag that was in a box in my closet, and also my recollection being like trash. I was convinced, I was convinced that I had like 9 boxes worth of projects, and maybe like Staples reamed like paper boxes, right? Maybe I did at one point have that many boxes. But then I realized that I had like 4. Like, I had one box that was literally probably just the end of stuff, right? It's the end of kitchen stuff. It was the end of anything. It just got thrown in there. I was like, okay, well, that is 100% not what I thought was in there. And then I had like a box of old like accessories, like ties and like arm warmers and stuff. And then I was like, well, where is this? And I'm like, well, maybe it got shoved in something, right? Because that is the most likely thing. Because there is a box. I have a nice, pretty, made by Ashland. It's like a brand that Michael sells, and they do like a lot of decorative stuff. I have a bunch of boxes, and I've got one that's like Paris and blue and lace and whatnot. I've got one that's got a bee thing to it, which I think is my Bobbin Lace box, to be honest with you. I've got another box that's for my socks, and I think I've got like one more box that's a little bit smaller. I've got a needle felting box too. Well, anyway, it should have been in the Bobbin Lace box. Friends, that's not where it was. That's not where it was. So at the end of it, I don't actually know where I found it, but the funny thing is, I did find it. I did see it. I mistook it because I glanced in the bag. I didn't look carefully. I mistook it for something else that I know I have, because I got 2 spools of thread. And I mistook it for the other spool, which is funny because the other spool of thread is a lighter blue than this. Okay? Like, for real. Like, what? And so I stopped. And so I gave up. And so we were supposed to post this video last week. I instead posted something else. I was super mad about it. I was just like, damn it, damn it, damn it. Are you kidding me? Like, are you kidding me? This sucks. And then, lo and behold, there it was. There it was. And I looked at it again, and I had a eureka moment, like, today. I was like, oh my God, there it is. And I was like, I just looked in this bag. And I was like, well, obviously you didn't look well enough. So all that to say, here it is. So this I bought at the Knitting Bee. It's Baracco's Mixer. I think I said that already. It is linked. I linked to the Ravelry page so that you can see it. It's not discontinued, which is great because I have a lot of yarns actually that are discontinued, and that sucks. And I got this because it's a novelty yarn. It's gonna be interesting. And I have a Bobbin Lace book, which I can't show you because I don't have it handy. And if I can remember, what I will do is I will take a picture. I don't even know when, to be perfectly honest with you. It's still getting dark, like, before I get home from the day job. So I don't actually know when I could take a picture. I could take the book with me tomorrow and take a picture. But I don't know what I'm walking into tomorrow. It might be like a just utter mess. Anyway, but that's the funny story of me, like, literally losing this, finding it, not realizing I found it, getting upset, and then finding it again properly. But yeah, Bobbin Lace. So if you look at the post previous, there is a picture of some Bobbin Lace. I actually have to update that post as well. There were some times where I was like, let me just get this post up and I'll fix this stuff later. And one of the things I need to do is I need to fix all of my old I need to fix all the things that aren't formatted, for one. And I need to put this in here. Oh my God. Why didn't you just close it, you dingbat? I'm like, are we having trouble, friends? We are having trouble. Anyway. Okay, I found it. Put my notes. I put it in my notes of things to do. Photograph. Because I'm thinking to myself, you got the book. When did you get the book? And I'm like, I don't know. I'm going to have to do like an art book. I'm going to have to do like all my art books, like a stash of all those. Okay. Oh my gosh. So, yeah. Haven't y'all missed this absolutely chaotic randomness that is me unprepared? Anyway, yeah, that's this, and you know, it's probably one of those, this is really funny to me. This is really funny to me because this is ridiculous. Like, I had it, I didn't lose it, I thought I lost it, I didn't actually lose it, I don't know what I'm talking about, and good job, goofball. So yeah. So like I said, I got that at a local knitting store. I do have that linked below. If you're not in the area though, I don't know that they do any kind of shipping. Like some LYSs, they absolutely, you can order from them and they'll ship stuff for you. I don't know that this one does. You're free to welcome to, you know, try it and check it out. And if you happen to be near or coming through, or it's easy for you to get to Richmond, Virginia, by all means, right? Pass through. And if you're going to do that, you should check out Dances with Wool, because that would be the other yarn store, although it is literally on a completely different side of town than this one is, which is a giant pain in the butt, because people tend to there's a whole thing about not crossing the river in Richmond, which is like a whole thing. It's like a thing. It's like a thing too. It's really funny. It's also really silly, but also in practice, no, it's a thing. It's totally real. It's like, it's just a little, somehow it's a little too far, right? And people are like, I don't want to do this. So, now what I will say is novelty yarns are usually used for like decorative pieces, pretty things, nice things, like maybe a lacy tablecloth or a pretty wrap or something that's, you know, not worn often, because they're usually delicate and they are not going to put up with like heavy use, like something that is sturdier is going to. So there's that, which is this is part of why I think this is perfect for Bobbin Lace, because this is not going to be a heavy use item. It's really kind of likely going to be a pretty thing that I made that I'm just really excited about having made, and that's going to be perfect for it. But also, one of the reasons I got this is because most Bobbin Lace is made out of thread. It's made out of thread. And the book that I found actually has, I think on the cover, and I linked to the publisher below, and I'm going to try to start doing that instead. When I can, link to the publisher. My stance on books is I would rather you just get the book wherever you can get the book. If you can get the book from your local library, if you can get it from a small used like bookstore or a local, you know, like a mom and pop shop kind of thing, whatnot. If you can support your local community and get the book, absolutely do that. If you can't, and the only way you can get it is through going through a big box store, then that's what you have to do, right? I don't think it's constructive to tell people that if they don't have access to something in a certain way that they just can't have it. I can't get behind that, friends. I really can't. And so I'm not for piracy, because that's not nice to the author, right? At the very least, let's think about the author. This is a small business person, right? Be nice to them. But like, if you have to go through a big box store, then that's what you have to do. And if you can get a digital copy, and wherever you choose to get your digital copies from, then there you go. But I know I saw a listing for it on Thrift Books and Abe Books. I did not click on it, so I don't know the accessibility of those, because sometimes you'll see the listing and the listing will be like, oh, it's out of stock now or whatever. And so absolutely, just like, honestly, Google the title and the author, and you can get it from Search Press, but if you're in the United States, you need to make sure that you click the little flag at the top, because there was an international customers button. I didn't click it, so I just like searched the listing itself, which is why the price tag is in pounds. So make sure you do that. I don't know if that means it won't be accessible. I don't know, because, you know, America's over here doing the most in the worst way possible, friends, in the worst way possible, which really does feel on brand for this country. It does. So nice, pretty things. Yay. Other than that, I think I'm gonna use it for, like, if there's a shawl that I think I would like to try it with. I don't know how well that's gonna work, because I don't know how much yarn Bobbin Lace uses, and substituting things of like different weights is tricksy. Like, it's super duper tricksy, friends. But other than that, I think it's everything. Woo. So my question for you is, do you have any Barocco mixer in your stash? Have you ever worked with it before? If so, how'd you like it and what'd you work on with it? And then have you ever done bobbin lace? As usual, if you want to see pictures of everything I've talked about here, the book, the yarn itself, lighting that's not total shit, you can scroll into the post below. If you're watching this on YouTube, hit that link at the top and it'll send you over to my Patreon. This is a public post so everybody can see it. Also linked below, I've got, let's see, what links do I have? Because I did one earlier. I did an audio post and I said I had something linked and I hadn't found the link yet. And then I went to find the link and I couldn't find it. So it made me a big fat liar. So now we know, make sure when you do your draft that you have everything set up first. That's a good idea, friends. But I've got the bobbin weave, the post I made last January, the knitting bee, the yarn on Ravelry, and then the link to the publisher's website for the book. Beginner's Guide to Bobbin Lace by Jillian Dye and Adrian Thunder. So there you go. And that's Adrian with 2 N's, but it's like written down so you can see it. Other things that are linked also, my websites, my social media, my Twitch, where maybe you'll see me working on some bobbin lace, which is, here's the funny thing about that. And I'll have to get the baby to help with this. So bobbin lace, when you do it, if you ever get a chance, like go and like YouTube and listen to a video, and it makes this funny, weird, repetitive sound, because that's just the sound it makes. Like sometimes people will make clicking noises with their needles when they're knitting. Sometimes you can hear the poking of the fabric when you're doing embroidery. Crochet, you don't hear as many sounds, although if sometimes you'll hear like this slight squeaking of yarn, and that's usually yarn, your stitch is too freaking tight and so you're like trying to muscle through it and it's not a good time. But bobbin lace has a very distinct sound to it, and it's interesting. I don't know that I like it or hate it. It's just like, oh, okay, that's a thing. And yeah, it is a thing. So yeah, I really would love to. I haven't made any bobbin lace in a really long time. I haven't made any in so long that I'm going to need to go through my refresher course with it. Like seriously, it's been a really long time. But other than that, since you stayed to the end of this, I've also got my social media linked, by the way. And those of you who are new around here, I need to add threads to that. It's not on there. I'm honestly getting away from Twitter because it's trash fire. It's still up there because there's still a presence on there, and I probably will pop on there here and there, but let me do that. Let me add threads. And, I had to figure out when I joined and probably backdates the ad, so I update. Let's see. And like I've done a little bit. I haven't done a whole lot, but I'm trying to do more stuff there. I like it better so far than Twitter. I feel like it's a lot more engaged, and it's a lot more engaged like in a way that I appreciate, and I'm sure there's reasons for that. But other than that, I probably could use like some serious curation to my following on Twitter. That would help a little bit, but I think it's really dead. Like people are not using it like it was being used when I joined, because reasons. Reasons, so many reasons. But you stay till the end. So what are we doing tomorrow? What are we doing tomorrow, Brian? I've been collecting a lot of pop dolls, and there is a Pinky in the Brain set, and I feel like I need to buy it. I feel like I do. I really need to buy it. I think I finally made up my mind that my gift card that is at Sinkin and Charles, I'm gonna try and buy them. because I think about them a lot. And I quote them a lot because that's like a childhood thing. And I make that like reference with friend like all the freaking time. Weird notifications. So tomorrow we're doing Monday motivation. Yeah, that's it. That's it. We're gonna be setting our intentions for the week, and hopefully this week is gonna go better. I feel like I've mostly recovered from school ending, but I'm going to go to a master's program, and so that's going to be even more intense, and it's going to be just a lot, and it's going to be so much, and so I have to do all the like preparation, like the mental and emotional preparation for that, and that is just that is so much, friends. Like, oh my gosh, on top of looking for new opportunities because I've graduated and everything like that, and like reworking my schedule and then trying to get back to things, and it's just been so much, friends, so much. So sorry for the honky tonky wonky donkey that is like me on the internet. But the funny thing is I actually saw something about I was reading something about something else, and it was unrelated, but the point was somebody said, oh, well, is such and such really the case for this person because they really regularly make content? And the person in question, I think the wide determination for this person in particular was that it probably wasn't, because they were very regular on, like, they're pretty regular on their content. And when you have like mental health struggles, and when you have neurodivergence to deal with and manage, and you have fluctuating energy levels, and you have fluctuating like areas of motivation and like ability to function, showing up regularly to do anything is just a lot. And part of the reason I can do it, sort of, is because of the excessive amount of planning I do. But as you have seen from the last year, it's really easy, if anything gets added, or if anything gets thrown up, to throw everything like into the fire. Not on purpose, and not because that's what I want to do, but I get to the point where I just hit a wall and I can't. So I usually try to maximize my energy when I have it, and that's kind of how I get around doing anything and being productive. But that does have a cost to it. Sometimes it means I end up doing too much, and sometimes it means I completely neglect doing other things. And because I have a partner who lives with me now, like, I have some help, but we are a neurodivergent household, and so we both have some similar overlaps of struggles, which is like a whole thing to have to navigate in and of itself. And so yeah, consistency is hard, and showing up is difficult, and it can be managed to some degree, but it also takes like a ridiculous amount of effort to do. And so yeah, just a insider thing. Yeah, I've explained this to wife a couple times, where I was like, it's a recording day, and so that's all I'm doing is like making videos from drafts, or working on drafts, and then working on a recording, and then getting up, and like, just then that's it. Like, and that's actually a lot. That's like a ton. But like, there's so much things that goes into this. So like, before I even do this, right, I have a queue of things, and I order them. So, and this is an ongoing queue that keeps getting added to and whatnot. And then I have to do all the drafts, and then I have to find links, and then I have to find pictures, or take pictures. And the taking pictures, that's the thing that gets me, because I need natural light. I'm really picky about that. And then recording the video is one thing, and then getting the video from my phone, which is what I use primarily because it's just easiest for me to do. Is it the best? No. Could I have a better setup? Absolutely. Do I have one right now? No. So we're going to use what we have, right? And then getting that to my computer. And then I can get into that to wherever it needs to go. Whether it's a video and it's going on YouTube, whether it's going public, whether it's not going public, linking it, whether I'm doing audio, and then I'm moving that, making sure that like my do not disturb is on so I don't have to splice things together because I don't like doing that. Just all kinds of things. Like you did notice at some point I stopped doing part 1s and part 2s because I figured out how to do that, which was great because I don't like re-recording things at all. Because stuff like this exchange right here happens, and then what? So, yeah, no, that's great. Hooray! But, that's it. So, that tangent aside, just some food for thought for anybody considering getting into content creation, for anybody who has feelings about content creators, and, well, why don't you just... There's probably more to it than that. And I've had friends of mine and like people that I care about like, oh, why don't you just... I'm like, well, because I don't want to do that. And sometimes there's this idea of, well, it would make more sense if you did XYZ, and I'm like, but would it? And more importantly, would it work for me? And would it be something I could sustain? And I am really big on sustainability. If I can't sustain an action or an intention or commitment, no is the answer, right? Because what's the point in that then? What is the point in that? And I don't know. So that's the thing. But I'm gonna go so I can get this off of my phone onto my computer, uploaded into YouTube. I'm super excited to be able to do this. So by the way, I'm sorry that it's late. Like, ideally I would have done this like earlier in the day, before I decided I have to sleep or I'm gonna die. And because I couldn't and I didn't, what a mess. But so long, farewell, auf Wiedersehen, and goodbye, my lovelies. I will see you. Well, I will chat with you tomorrow, and we're going to set intentions, and we're going to get things done, and it's going to be great. Toodles!